Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. We review anything and everything. And today we're taking a look at this Ninjago Lego set 71806. This is Cole's Elemental Earth Mech, 235 pieces. And it has two figures. Here you can see it on the back, and it mixes up with the different types. And I realize now that this is showing all these different types to mix and match, but it's not limited to this, because a different one that I just finished reviewing, which was Aaron's Battle Mech, also had this on the back, showing the different ones that it can configure with. So I guess it's just trying to say in general, you can mix and match and configure with any of them. So that's actually pretty cool, but you definitely want them to be somewhat of a similar size. So that way their arm lengths and whatnot don't feel like they're, you know, disproportionate to each other, because I did review a smaller mech. And we're not gonna unbox this right now, but we're gonna get into it in full later on in the video. But I'm also gonna have some segments where my son helps me kind of break this down, because he's gonna be the one building this and it's for him, and have a little bit of his thoughts in terms of just, you know, from before opening the box to a little bit of the build process. And then I'll just go into details on what he thought about it, along with just my review on the product. So stay tuned for that. Okay guys, we are back with the finished build of this. And one thing that was surprising, so when I started the process of with the box, when I first, at the earlier part of the video, I thought that this one and the other mech that I purchased, which was Aaron's mech, was going to get built at the same time. So I was planning on that one to be roughly just a little bit before this one, when this review was done. But I gifted both of these two mech suits to my sons. One of them wanted to build, the other one wasn't into the mood to build. I didn't want to take away that build experience from him just to do the video. So earlier in the video, I mentioned about the other one that I reviewed, but I just simply went over the box and didn't have a chance for it to get built. So I just want to kind of correct that, because this one's going to come out before that one. Now, Cole is one of the, if I'm not mistaken, one of the original Ninjago members of the ninjas. So from the earlier ones, so where a few other characters like Aaron and Sora, who I also reviewed in a different set, are a little bit like the new characters in training. So here you have one of the OGs, and this set is really awesome. Links gonna be in the description down below. This on Amazon goes for $22 and some change. It actually is really nice, especially for what you're getting. It's one of the bigger mechs compared to the smaller mechs that I had recently shown. Matter of fact, I'm gonna grab one of those just to compare the size. So here you can see Zane's mech, and it's a smaller mech, but what's interesting is, so this mech at this size, you're pretty much just paying about double the price. That Zane's mech, if I'm not mistaken, is roughly about, I think sometimes you see it on sale for about like $8, but roughly it's supposed to be $10. And this one is $22, so a little bit more than double the price, but you're getting a mech that is super huge and bulky in comparison. So I thought that that was actually really awesome. And there's a couple things about this mech that I think is also very interesting, in that it actually has a spot to hold Cole's sword. So you could see that right there. But before we jump deeper into the mech and his Warhammer, it comes with two figures. You have Cole, and this Cole is very reminiscent of Lloyd, which I would already reviewed from the Green Dragon set. Now, I don't know if this is part of the, I'm sure it's part of the later season in Dragon Rising of Ninjago, but he has the mask just like how Lloyd has, and then the face without the little mask. I don't know if that's just where he's expressing energy or however that goes. He's got the dual molded mask, which I just think looks really awesome. All these types, I showed Lloyd's earlier in the other review. He's got his armor, and I guess that right there on the right is his symbol for his earth symbol. You can see right there. So he looks very cool. I'm putting this on now with his regular eyes. Like I said before, he has a sword that he comes with. Now, unfortunately, he can hold the sword in his hand, but he doesn't have nothing to hold it on his back, but it's fine because it attaches to his mech. So at least they gave you a place to put it. Here is another wolf masked warrior. And he comes with a sword. And it's pretty much the same that we reviewed earlier before in a different set. Though sometimes they have these guys come with different weapons. Once again, the only drawback I would say to this is he's got a dual not molded, but a dual painted face. And the problem is, if you were to take his helmet off, now he's got two faces, which doesn't make sense. You would want something covering the back of that face. Before I get into the mech, I'm going to get into his weapon. It's really nice and it's done well and it's super huge. The only flaw I would say is that these things can kind of spin. Just the design of the build makes it like that. There's no way around that. But as far as his design goes, I think it looks really cool with these little spike pieces on it. And it looks really awesome and it's huge. So you can see there next to them, it's taller than a minifigure. So definitely very damaging. Now, this piece right here is so the mech can hold it in either hand because it has that spot right there. So when you put it in, you would just simply plug it in there and it would go in and he holds it. And then you can, if you want, make the hands come over it like that. We're gonna take that out for now. What's also cool is that, I knew that might happen. This piece got stuck. Is that one thing that's really cool with this, move this out the way so it won't focus on that. You can close the fists and now he's got punching hands. So that's really cool right there, or open them up. You got this, which is almost like a little power cell thing. And I showed that before on Zane's mech. This one has these big kind of, it almost looks like a football design, like a football player design. It's very bulky and beefy. The build is really nice. My son put this together and it was a lot of work, but he did a really good job and he was able to complete it. So I was really proud of him with that. And yeah, it's just really like an awesome build. Like it's just very heavy duty. The feet were heavy duty. The legs were heavy duty. Everything on it is just reinforced and extra thick. So it's really cool. So I really, really like that. And then, as I had mentioned earlier, that you have the hole where you can combine and mix and match. So you can do that because all the arms and the legs pretty much pull off from ball joints, which you see inside there, these really big ball joints. Now, obviously, these are not compatible with the smaller ones that I showed you, like Zane's mech, whatever. But this one right here is compatible with the bigger ones. There's a lot of space in it too. So when you sit the figure down in there, there's plenty of room. So it's not like a thing where you might have, like I mentioned with Zane's mech, that it was a little bit of trouble having to close it. This one has so much room in it that that's not even an issue at all, which is really cool. And like I said, there was a space for him to hold his sword. But if you want to customize, you could do the same over here if he had extra weapons and give him more stuff. But I just think it's really awesome, especially for the price of this, $22. Like I said, link's gonna be in the description. Very awesome. Very awesome indeed. So this is definitely a win. This one's definitely a win. My sons love it a whole lot. And had an extra one of these laying around. This is not from this set though. I don't think it is. But as always, you guys, like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.